Hello everyone. Here we are with another episode of the Tushar podcast with Chris Korten, sir, from Oxford and Cambridge. Sir, welcome on Tushar podcast, sir.
Welcome. It's great to be here, Tushar. Very nice. Thank you for the invitation.
Sir, I want to ask you, what's the journey from a student to a professor?
One more time. I couldn't quite hear it.
I want to say that, sir, what's the journey from a student to a professor?
I didn't quite hear you. I'm sorry. It's not. One more time.
Sir, I am saying that what's the journey from a student to a professor?
Okay, so maybe try the mic again. I couldn't hear. I can't hear you, unfortunately. Can you try the mic one more time? Sorry about that.
No problem, sir. Sir, this 1 minute. Yes. What's your journey from a student to a professor?
So you're asking for my suggestion?
Yes, sir.
So you're asking for my suggestion about learning English if you're a student, yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how old are the students?
Sir, I think these are from 13 to 18 because this is the age where we have to know the good English for speaking in our environment.
I see. So, well, I think, giving advice to 13 to 18-year-olds is a bit difficult because you have to understand how much they've studied English before this period. So, obviously, students who began studying English when they were 6, 7, 8, have a distinct advantage over those who are just starting to learn English when they're 13 or 14. If students are just starting to learn English in their teenage years, it's more complicated because students in the teenage years don't like to feel embarrassed. In other words, they don't want to make mistakes in public. They don't want to do anything that would look silly. They're very sensitive about being accepted in their social groups. And so when we talk about don't be afraid of making mistakes, teenagers the world over are afraid of looking, being made fun of by their peers. So it's a lot more challenging if they're starting out. But if they have a little bit of background, then I think it helps a lot. It helps with being, sort of more confidence more than anything. And my advice, and this is the difficult part, is to speak regularly during these years. My experience with teenagers is they learn grammar, or if they're working hard, they study the grammar, but they don't often speak. And about 15 to 20% actually speak enough during the week, even less perhaps, but around 15% speak enough to improve. And so most students, teenagers, don't speak English enough. And I think this is really important uh, to somehow find a speaking partner. Now, on my Instagram account, Professor underscore Korten, it's my name here on the podcast. I have free language exchanges where students can go onto the post and just ask somebody at their level if they'd like to speak. And so this is, I think, a great way to overcome this problem. Speaking with people from different cultures oftentimes is a better way of communicating in English because you don't feel nervous. You don't feel like everyone's going to laugh at you. And it's interesting because you get to meet people from different parts of the world.
Yes, of course, sir. And I want to ask that what are the other differences between like that? Sir, we are making a huge difference, like sir, in the countries because I think that India taking English very seriously because I think to do and use our language in a very good way is a better thing than using any other language.
That's right. I mean, English is the international currency of business and obviously commerce and even diplomacy. international politics. You know, even at the United Nations, a lot of the speeches are in English. So yeah, this is a really important language for for students who desire an international life or career or want to travel or study abroad. But I think India is well placed because there's this emphasis on English. Obviously, there are different levels. Not everyone speaks it at the same level of fluency, but there is an emphasis on the importance of English. And so I think if you grow up in India or you grow up in this region, you understand how important English is, which I think is beneficial.
Thank you very much, sir. And I want to ask that, like, sir, what are the differences which you think that are from Indian schools and like the country schools which you are teaching now?
One more time, you're asking about the differences between the schools I'm at and in India?
What are the languages like, sir? What is the proper discipline for teaching that languages?
One more time. I'm sorry, I don't quite catch the question. So, what's one more time? Can you ask the question?
I'm asking the question, sir. What are the differences in the school, Indian schools and the schools which you are teaching now? Like, sir, what are the
Oh,
differences you are
okay.
finding?
So I'm not very good. I understand. Sorry about that. Yes. So I'm not so familiar with the English schools to be with the Indian schools. To be honest, I've not lived in India, though I have a lot of Indian followers on my Instagram account. I know that school experiences are different between public and private schools. I know that all private schools, all schools that you pay for around the world are similar in their understanding that English is important, and there are a lot of English classes dedicated to improving that language in the week, every week, 4 or 5 lessons a week. I know in public schools in general, state schools, there is not those opportunities. And so a lot of students, most students, have to find these opportunities outside of school. So my understanding is that in Indian schools, there's a chance to understand the grammar and come to grips and have a good understanding of the grammar, but there aren't many opportunities to express yourself in speaking. And so, if I'm an Indian student, I try to perfect the grammar in school, but then I look for opportunities like on my Instagram account where you can talk to people in English every week. You need that practice. It's not enough just to study grammar. And I know you know that, Tushar. You speak very well. It's not an issue. I say what only because of the microphone. You have a very good command of English. So you understand the importance of this.
Yes, of course, sir. And I think, sir, we are making differences in the languages, but main thing that we all are a human being.
Yeah, that's right. And we all have the same sort of inhibitions, fears, not all the same problems, obviously, because I grew up speaking English. So this isn't an issue. I'm lucky. It's not because I'm good. I'm just lucky that I grew up speaking English that people want to learn. You know, so that's nothing I've done, but. But it's a fact. But we have different struggles and obstacles in that sense. I think the line froze. I think Tushar's frozen. Let's see. I'll wait. Well, I'll just continue while he's away. I have also, in addition to an Instagram account, which you can see here, Professor underscore Korten. I also have a YouTube account by the same name, Professor Korten, where I offer a writing course, a writing series. It's obviously free on YouTube, a beginner course, Every Monday, there's a beginner video from zero to pre-intermediate, step by step. There's a writing series on how to write an essay. Every Tuesday, you have those videos. And then we're starting lots of different videos aimed at the intermediate levels. So there's a lot of opportunities to learn, not only on my Instagram account, but also on my YouTube account. And they're both going by the same name, Professor Korten. So you can find those very easily by Googling it. I might just talk a little bit about myself until Tushar comes back. I was born in the United States, and I did my higher education, my master's and my PhD in England at the universities of Oxford and Cambridge. And then I lived in Europe and am now teaching in universities in Poland and Russia. Very good universities in both countries. And I'm very privileged and lucky to have these two experiences. And living abroad, I can say, if you live abroad and you have a lot of rich experiences. I've learned so much about my own language living in different countries, because you understand how some people make mistakes in English based on their language. And so you start to appreciate the mistakes students make, you understand why students make these mistakes, and I think you become a more empathetic teacher. You also become a richer teacher in the fact that you understand culturally some of these differences, and I think makes for a lot more interesting discussions during class. Now we're still waiting for Tushar, so I will just continue a bit. I started on Instagram about 2 years ago, and we've quickly risen to one of the largest Instagram accounts teaching English on the whole platform. It's gone very quickly. And what we do is two of the reasons is that I go live every Wednesday to talk about grammar or an aspect of English. That's a live webinar, live Instagram live every Wednesday. And then I do pronunciation every Sunday afternoon. And those are free. They're very helpful. Lots of people have benefited from it. And I think that's contributed to the fast growth. In addition, I initially aimed my Instagram account at teachers and advanced students. Now slowly we're addressing intermediate students, those at the B1, B2 level, and sometimes A2. So we're giving quizzes on my Instagram stories or posts that intermediate students can relate to, and not just advanced students. So it's very interesting. Teachers benefit because of the interesting and different methodologies and methods I adopt in the various videos, and I try to articulate what those different methods are. So I think it's a channel for everybody. And if you're a complete beginner, then you need to go to my YouTube channel, where we have a beginner series where we start from the alphabet. We start from zero. So it's very helpful in that respect. In addition to teaching English on Instagram and YouTube, I'm a writing instructor at university, and I'm a professor of history. So I also have a different perspective